What's going on, everybody? I'm going to talk about a few different topics today. First, I'm going to start with the Jeff Jarrett DVD. If you are a TNA wrestling fan, this DVD is a must-have. And the reason that I say that is because of the documentary portion of the DVD. This covers Jeff Jarrett's entire career, from when he debuted all the way through WWF, WCW, and then once WCW ended, how TNA came about and the progress that TNA has made as a company. And I must say, after watching this DVD, nothing will hype you up more for the future of TNA wrestling than this. I'm telling you right now, everybody has a common purpose, and it's amazing. It is truly amazing to see where TNA and how far TNA has come to this point. I mean, they have been around about 7 years, and just think about all the progress they have made. No other company has done what TNA has done in 7 years. They have monthly pay-per-views. They have a weekly 2-hour primetime deal with Spike TV. They have DVD distribution. They have video games. They have action figures. I mean, it is unbelievable how far they have come in the past 7 years. And it really makes me think a lot about what I've said over the past couple of months, and it makes me feel like a jackass. And the reason it does is because sometimes TNA is not always going to make the right choices. You know, they're not always going to be perfect. They're not always going to make the decisions that everybody wants to see happen. But I feel like they are at least consistent. You know, they might have 1 or 2 months out of the year where you're just like, oh, what are they thinking? But you know what? That other 10 months, man, they're out there busting their ass, making sure that the wrestling fans go home happy, making sure that they're entertained, you know. And for me, you know, I may not have enjoyed the storylines over the past couple of months. I didn't really enjoy the whole main event mafia thing that much. But you know what? Someone out there did, you know, and that's what we've got to look at. We've got to look at the big picture. And I don't think the internet community looks at the big picture. I think they're closed-minded, negative pieces of garbage. But for me, you know, I owe TNA an apology. I am sorry. I am truly sorry because I didn't stick by the company. You know, I said some things that I'm not happy about. You know, I said I'm going to get people to stop watching. You know, you know, my opinions about Destination X haven't changed. You know, I felt like there was too many matches, for one, and I think that's what ultimately affected the pay-per-view. You know, and I don't feel like they need to put all of their talent on the show. You know, I've said that. But I cannot crucify them for making a couple of bad decisions. You know, it's about sticking by the company and, you know, hoping that it'll get better. And the difference, you know, I know Doug said before, you know, you shouldn't stick by a company when it's bad because then it's just blind hope. Well, no, I don't necessarily agree with that. But what I think he is trying to get at is that the WWE, it's been bad for several years. You know, so now if you're sticking by it, you know, for a fact, I know that it's not going to change. I mean, when they did the brand extension in 2002, they said the whole purpose of establishing brands was so that they could get new stars and future stars out there, and it's a bunch of bullshit. And the reason it's a bunch of bullshit is because it's just another way for them to make money. How many future stars have you seen over the past several years? Most of the guys that they have on their television program were established Attitude or pre-Attitude era, with the exception of maybe Randy Orton, okay, and John Cena. But those guys were even established in like 03, 04. So the last several years, the WWE has done nothing to establish new stars. You know, they are full of crap, and I can't tell you how much of a sellout that I felt like after I went to TNA shows and after I've been to Ring of Honor shows that weekend. And then I have to go and sit in a WWE show, and it felt like a WWE show. I don't think people understand, you know, when Doug and I, we've been to past WWE shows, and I'm talking way past, like 01, 02, you know, 99, when the stuff was amazing. You know, and so we've really seen the transition to what it is now, which is lack of in-ring performance because of the fact that the schedule is grueling. Guys can't go out there and give it their all. You know, and also the fact that the WWE has no new established stars. I mean, it's just a bunch of, and it's become more entertainment than ever. You know, they have really cut back on the wrestling and focused more on entertainment than they ever have before. The problem is some of the stuff that they find entertaining, you know, they think is entertaining, I don't find entertaining at all. But I can't tell you how much of a sellout I felt like going to WrestleMania, and especially after I left. I didn't honestly think. I was like, well, I haven't been to a WWE show since like June of 2006. Here we are, April of 2009. This could be different. So I went in there with an open mind, and I left disappointed again. And it's one of those things that just confirmed what Doug and I have been saying over the past couple of years about the WWE, is they're not out there to bring it in the ring. They're out there to market, get you to buy the ticket, and then not deliver. I can guarantee you this. When you go to a TNA show, you will leave happy. Why? Because when you go to a WWE show, you truly feel like an outsider looking in. When you go to a TNA show, they make you feel like you are a part of the family. They go out there, they not only bust their butt in the ring, but after the show, they will have wrestlers come out, they'll take pictures, they'll sign autographs. They will make you feel like you are a part of the TNA family. And that is a huge difference, and that is where TNA has really stepped up. And also the fact that TNA will deliver on a consistent basis. The WWE will deliver once a year generally. But for me, like I said, Sunday, April 5th should be called Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, because that's exactly what it was. That's what the whole show was built around. That was what the payoff was. And the sad thing about that is yeah, it was an amazing match. I was honored to be able to see that match live. But the sad thing is there could have been a whole list of great matches that came out of that pay-per-view, and that was the only one. That was the only one that was worth talking about when it was all over. So for me, I feel like I wasted my money on WrestleMania. That was the downside of my weekend. For me, I had more fun at Ring of Honor, and this is not bullcrap that I'm feeding you. This is the God's honest truth. I had more fun at Ring of Honor on Friday night and Saturday than I did at WrestleMania, because it was more of a personal feel, And yeah, there was 72,000 people there, but honestly, it did not feel like it. The only time I felt 72,000 screaming fans was at Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, because that's when the crowd was into it the most. The crowd was not into the main event at all. The crowd wasn't really into any other match but that one. So, I wish I would have spent my money, instead of going to WrestleMania, going to Lockdown this Sunday. Are you kidding me? This card is stacked. I'm going to get, Doug and I are going to get our predictions out there later on this week before the show. Or, Bound for Glory, when I find out where that is, I might be making some plans. Because the bottom line is I know TNA cares about the wrestling fan. I might be buying one of those travel packages that they offer for Lockdown if they offer the same thing for Bound for Glory, which I imagine they will. To me, like I said, I owe TNA an apology. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the things that I said. I'm sorry for the fact that I said I would get people to stop watching. That's not the way to handle it. I can still express my opinions as a wrestling fan and express my concerns. Like for me, like the Jeff Jarrett DVD, I love the DVD. I just wish one thing for future DVDs, one thing to point out, I would like to see the documentary all as one, and then on a separate disc have the DVD extras as matches and interviews and whatnot. Because with the Jeff Jarrett DVD, and I've seen this with other DVDs too that TNA's put out, they'll do like 10 minutes of Jeff Jarrett talking, and then they will show a match, then 10 more minutes of Jeff Jarrett talking, and they'll show another match. To me it feels a little unorganized and a little sloppy. So I would definitely recommend for future DVD releases just to put the documentary all in one, and then on the additional disc do the DVD extras, whether it be matches or promos or whatever. But like I said, I'm extremely happy with TNA right now. And I'm just, I hope we get another opportunity, Doug and I, to help promote the company, because quite frankly, with the TNA Addict show, I feel like it was kind of a letdown. I don't feel like I gave enough. We didn't have a lot of tools to work with. I would drive an hour every week, or Doug would drive an hour every week so that we could meet up, and we would do the TNA Addict show, and we'd spend all day editing it. And then we would send it off. We had a few guidelines we had to follow, whatever. I'm not going to get into details. just for privacy reasons. But the bottom line is, you know, I wish we just had another chance to get that going. But, you know, it is what it is. If we can't help out TNA via YouTube, we will with other avenues. We will continue to promote TNA on our page. And the biggest thing for me, you know, is with TNA, you know, a lot of their employees are scheduled out of and live out of Nashville, Tennessee. So, you know, with us living in Texas, it's really hard to have guidance. It's really hard to have someone help you out and show you how things should be done, you know. And when TNA is looking to go HD and improve the quality of all their stuff, and then we've still got, you know, a digital camera that we're shooting our videos with. Now we have a lot better equipment than what we had at that time. But, you know, needless to say, I don't have any hard feelings when it comes to the TNA Addict show. I know that it needed some work. So, you know, hopefully down the line we will have another opportunity. And hopefully we'll be able to work closer with the group, you know, because, like I said, all those guys, you know, I can tell they're one big family and they work really hard to put out the best product possible, from the guys in the back to the wrestlers, you know. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but there are other avenues to get into TNA, if not via YouTube. But we will get our lockdown predictions out there later on this week. It is a stacked card. Can't miss show for TNA and wrestling fans alike. And if you don't believe me, you just go to the website and take a look at it. But that's it for now. I will see y'all later on this week.